Hi everyone, I'm Guyler-Alaniz and this is FarmHer Talks. These are the stories of everyday women who are doing amazing things. They are making the ordinary extraordinary. So yes, you just heard it. This is FarmHer Talks, and oh my, who else has been through some major change in the last few months? But here I am telling you about our major changes and gosh, what I hope is a much clearer future, not just for us here on the inside, but really for all of you who are listening, watching, learning, enjoying our content, because this is where we're going. So FarmHer, I'm wearing it on my shirt. It's what we lead with. It is the name of our brand. It's everything we do. But we have been running down many different roads in the past, and it's really like a continuation of the extension of this growth process that happens when you are a startup. And we are a startup, I guess we were a startup, right, 7 years ago, and one that we didn't know what this business looked like. We didn't know where a paycheck was going to come from. We didn't know what people were going to enjoy and listen to and watch and, absorb, right? We didn't know that. And so it's a continual learning process for us. But what we do know, and what I've known from day one, is that you all associate with the word FarmHer. I'm a firm believer there's a little bit of FarmHer in all of us. Whether you have a few pots that you grow up on your deck with some tomatoes that a friend helped you plant, or whether you operate an urban farm, or maybe you've got 10,000 acres of row crops, right? It doesn't matter to me. We all have a little bit of that in us that makes us kind of want to grow something, want to sustain ourselves and our families, to give something to our communities. There's a little piece of something in all of us that is inherent in that. And I think that's just because we're humans, right? And even if you're sitting there listening and saying, nope, not me, not me. I don't want dirt under my fingernails. I don't want chickens running around in my backyard. I want none of that. I don't want to run a farm for my everyday. Here's what I have to tell you, that this actually does matter. This matters greatly because we all eat, and that's what matters. Food always comes from the farm. And so whether it's livestock that are raised on a ranch in Texas, or broccoli that's grown in California, or blueberries in Florida, or potatoes in Maine, it all comes from a farm, and so it affects all of us greatly. So FarmHer is something that I know is relevant to so many of us out there. And so to kind of widen open the gates and to be able to really run towards a future of talking to people about FarmHer, farms, ranches, livestock, food, rural communities, families, we decided that we needed to always lead with the word FarmHer. So the biggest change that you all are going to hear right here, right now, today, is that our podcast is now called FarmHer Talks. Again, we are leading with FarmHer everywhere we are. We named it Shining Bright in the past. It's very common for podcasts to be named something different than the brand name, but we have put all of our time, effort, energy, investment, everything in the name FarmHer. And so we're going to lead with that. And when I was thinking about what this could be called, of course, what do we do here? We talk. We talk to women. We hear their stories. We understand who they are, what they do, why they do it. We hope to give you a little bit of education. We hope to give you some entertainment. We hope to inspire you. And again, there's something for all of us here. But FarmHer Talks is at the basis of what this is, what we are, and who we are. So podcast, as of today, welcome to episode 1 of FarmHer Talks. Now, all of those past episodes of Shining Bright, those are all still out there. You can still listen to those, watch those, and they're still me, right? They're still me talking, so they aren't going to feel all that different. But we used to do them, they were almost an hour long because they also aired first on Rural Radio Channel 147 on Sirius XM. And we kind of flipped that up a little bit because I really wanted to focus on the podcast format and the ability for us to give you the right discussion, the right content. And I didn't want to have to worry about fitting that into this box that we had of time, right? I wanted to give you what I think is the most important piece. So we flipped that, okay? And so now it airs podcast first. You can also still hear us on Rural Radio 147, Sirius XM, and it's still there every weekend, but it looks a little different, okay? So FarmHer Talks, no more shining bright. If you were a subscriber in the past, then you know already that this new Talks format, it's just renamed. It looks a little prettier, and it is still landing. You're already subscribed to it, okay? So you shouldn't have to do anything different. You don't have to act any way different. Just listen to us. And our goal is to be here every other week with you. We used to be here weekly, but we're running a lot of different directions. And again, we want to focus on good content when we have it, instead of feeling like we have to rush through that content. So the stories that we know you want to hear, that's what we're focusing on right here at FarmHer Talks. So a couple of other, I think, big things that we've been working on, okay? So number one, through the years, okay, so I have a background in graphic design, journalism, and photography. And photography, obviously, I've used with FarmHer, and the design piece, you know, I've always said, while I don't have a degree in agriculture, like so many of you out there, the design piece has been really important for me to be able to start my own business, run my own brand, do what I need to do when I need to do it. And as FarmHer has grown and changed, we've had other people here in a communications role and a design role and in different roles. And it's so important because I can't do it all myself. But when I found myself with an instantly cleared calendar last spring, I realized very quickly that in this refocus of our brand that we had been going through, we already were going through this. We were going through a digital audit. Hello, Jody Oline Consulting. You've heard her on our podcast before. She's someone I have so much respect for. And Jody has been working with us, looking at how people engage with our brand, what they want from our brand, where else we can go with our brand. And once we knew that, we figured out, okay, how are we going to go there? And to me, one of the very first things was we needed to reset our look, our style, our FarmHer brand feel, if you will. And so I went about putting together a new color palette. It's similar to what we've had, but you're going to see more consistency in it. Colors that I love. And I will tell you what, there's this red color that you're going to see pop up here and there, but I'm a big fan of accents. I painted my front door red. Maybe I needed a little inspiration and life through this pandemic. But, you know, really nice blues and yellows and greens, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful array of colors. We're always going to lead with images. We are always going to lead with the word FarmHer, and we're always going to lead with images. This brand is all about stories of people, and we have so many of those. And they're such beautiful people, no matter who they are, what they do, why they do it. And so you're going to see us lead with those photos through this brand reset. We've got a little bit of different fonts. But then the other thing that we haven't really been focusing on, that we realize we're missing an opportunity here, is YouTube. So we have been, if you've been listening in on our episodes recently, you have maybe heard that we're doing these on video as well. And I would say we've been going through a bit of a trial and error. We've been trying to figure out how we record these at home, how we record these from a distance, what they look like if it's just somebody sitting here and talking to you. Is that something that people want, you know? So we've been going through these iterations of what this looks like to provide video to the different pieces of what we do on our YouTube channel. We've been learning a lot, and I am excited to tell you that we are launching specific pieces just for YouTube. What we've had there in the past are wonderful. They're web clips from the TV show. So those are great. Those will still be out there, but we're giving you a little bit longer content. And the first thing that you're going to see out there, in addition to these FarmHer Talks, right? These FarmHer Talks are going to live out there. You can go watch this on YouTube whenever you want. You can see my face smiling at you as I talk, as I sit here listening to these birds chirp, and I see, actually, for now, what is my beautiful garden in the backyard right behind me, until the weeds take over as the summer comes on. But so you can watch that. But the first thing that you can binge watch, right, that you can look at multiple episodes and say, oh my gosh, I love this, I can't get enough of this, is our FarmHer Stories. And that is a playlist. You can find it over on youtube.com/FarmHer, and definitely subscribe while you're there. because then you can see we're going to have a consistent and steady release of these as we move forward. So these stories are exactly that. They're the stories of women who are FarmHers, right? And these women's stories vary greatly. It might be an urban goat dairy in Florida. It might be a winery in Maryland. It might be a pig show in Iowa, okay? It's wide, it's varied, the ages vary, the locations vary, but what you're gonna see through these is women who love the land, care for their communities, and feed the people. No different from what you see anywhere with FarmHer. And they are easily absorbed. They're 10 minutes or less, and I guarantee you're going to want to keep watching because they're cool women. They have stories. You will connect with them. Everybody has a story to tell. Every single person has a story to tell, and everyday women who are doing amazing things. That is the definition of a FarmHer, and so that's what we pull out through these stories. So join us over there. Check out those stories. That's another new piece of what we have. Of our brand that we're rolling out. You can find us every week, of course, still FarmHer on RFD-TV. That is a 30-minute weekly television show that airs with our friends on RFD, and we travel the country. We go to farms and share the stories of women there. Those are longer stories. It's a 30-minute weekly television show, and again, it's still right there. Now, the last piece that is not visible yet, but it is in the making, is another piece of FarmHer that we're going to start showing you that has been here for years. It's just not been something I knew how to share, what to share, and that is the on the road piece. That is the behind the scenes, what happens, the nitty gritty, the figuring it out, the hitting the road, the travel, the food, a little bit of background at the farms, what goes on when the cameras aren't watching, and it's a video blog, and it's me, okay? It's my life, because FarmHer has somehow turned into my life, and there is no separation anymore. And the other really cool thing that I've realized, while there's been so many difficult things about this change in our culture, this pandemic, this switch that has been flipped and that is going to be slow to come back, and is probably always going to look different, right? Is I was home. I almost immediately, within a couple of days in March, my calendar just cleared out, okay? It cleared out for the foreseeable future. I have some online speaking engagements, and we recently just went out and tried some filming for the TV show. We also just went to a farm. You're going to see that on FarmHer Talks here in the area. So we're trying to figure out what that looks like to step back out in the world a little bit. But what I realized was I've been doing this without the most important three pieces of my world by my side. And being home and being home for a while helped me to realize that time is short, life is precious, and hold those close to you even more dear. And I don't want to hit the road anymore without them by my side. So we're going to figure that out. And when I say them, I mean my husband and my two kids. And so they're going to be on FarmHer on the road with me, watch us go explore, see, do, and of course go to farms along the way and share their stories, do a talks episode, figure out what good they've got going on there, enjoy their food, because I am the first to always tell people that I have the best job. I get to meet the coolest people. I get to see some of the most amazing things, and there's absolutely nothing like stepping foot on a farm. It's wide open, it's fresh air, it's life, right? And it's beautiful. And I see that every time I step foot on one. But my kids haven't seen that, and I want them to see that. I want them to learn a useful tool. They can help us do this, right? I want them to learn how to travel. I want them to see the world around them. I want to experience that with them. And while it has been so amazing, I've mostly been traveling with the FarmHer on RFD-TV crew, and we'll continue to do so. I'm going to figure out a way for my family to come along. So we've got this little camper. We've had it for a little over a year, and we're going to figure out how to go show more farms and hit the road and really experience that. So you're going to see that coming up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll give you an update about that again, that's going to be something that will live just on YouTube. Right here, listening-wise, you will hear FarmHer Talks about every other week, and we will keep sharing with you the stories of everyday women who are making the ordinary extraordinary. So to recap all this, we're just taking a step back. Actually, my friend Erin Cummings said on an upcoming episode that we've already recorded, she said, this summer is like taking it back to 1980. It's like taking it back to the simpler times when I was a kid on the farm. It's, sunshine on our back. It's hanging out with the ones that we love. It's barn kitties. It's, all the things that we can pull from our childhood. That's what she is working to provide for her daughter. And she doesn't have to work real hard for it, right? And so I liken that to this. This is taking a step back, keeping it real simple. We want to open the gates super wide for everybody who wants to come engage with us here at FarmHer. We want to entertain you. We want to inspire you. We want to bring you on our journey, okay? We want to help you explore the world around you, expand, expect more, see all the cool things on the horizon, because that's what we see, and we want you to really be able to see that too, all through the lens of FarmHer. So be sure to join us again over on youtube.com/FarmHer. Subscribe there, because you're going to have a regular flow of stuff that I know you're going to want to pay attention to. Thank you for joining me here today in my beautiful backyard for FarmHer Talks.